Right, hello, welcome back to a very special Villa on Tour. We don't normally do previews, do we? But we thought we'd do this one we'll get into it, that Brighton game, probably the biggest game at Villa Park I'm going to see for a very, very long time. I'm your host, Max Stokes, of course, joined by Simon Lyons. Simon, we're filming this on Tuesday, so your nerves probably aren't as bad as when this video is going out on Saturday, but still, feeling it this week, aren't we? It's a nervy one.
It's starting to creep in, I've got to be honest. It's only Tuesday, but it's starting to creep in, just because of it's all the permutations, isn't it? You're thinking about, all the permutations, what can happen this Sunday, and the other thing that worried me, I started looking yesterday, thinking, what if Brentford beat City? City could rest players, and then even Brentford could overtake us. So all the permutations is starting to make me feel a little bit nervy. But I'm buzzing for it. It's going to be a great day at Villa Park, isn't it? A great atmosphere. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I think at the moment my sort of overriding feelings are excitement, but also nerves as well. That sort of combination of the two. But you know what? I'm confident. Just give a quick shout out to Hockley Social Club as well. That's why we're filming today. It's a brilliant location. If you ever fancy a beer or a drink or some street food, come down to Hockley Social Club. Not far from the Jewellery Quarter. Really great location, so thank you for them for having us today. Please do get involved in the comments in this video as well. Let us know how you're feeling, obviously, as this goes out. Like I said, it's very, very close to the time, so let us know your predictions as well, what you're thinking, how you're feeling, are we going to do it? Get involved in the comments and let us know. Smash a like on this video as well if you do go on to enjoy it. Like I said, this is quite a special video. We don't normally do previews, but like I said, it is the biggest game at Villa Park for me for a long time. Simon, is it the biggest game for you at Villa Park? What do you reckon?
For quite a while, I suppose. Yeah, for quite a while. I mean, for us being in the hunt for European football is it's not something that we've been used to over the last decade or so, really. What is it, 12, 13 years since Villa were in European competition, and even then that was very early stages, and we got knocked out in the very, very, very early stages. And so it's probably the biggest game at Villa Park for me for a good over 12, 13 years or so. So looking really, really excited about it, really looking forward to it. Yeah,
sort of last time we were in Europe was that sort of Rapid Vienna getting knocked out. We've talked about it there. Tifo of Your Nightmare Returns. Do you know what? That was awful, but you just want to be in European competitions. Villa, whenever they do interviews, that's all they ever mention. Whenever a new player joins, whenever a new manager joins, that's all they ever mention, isn't it? And it's where this club should be. I said it on the podcast recently that I started this channel sort of when we were the second year in the Championship, and we were going sort of all over the place, and we were losing to your Barnsleys, Ipswich, QPRs at home, and we've come so far in such a short space of time, and to have covered that on the channel is brilliant, because the turnaround in such a short space of time has been crazy.
It has, and that's why football's like a revolving door, isn't it? It comes around in cycles all the time, and so when you do have good times or good moments, it's about treasuring them, isn't it? Really?
100%, yeah.
And I think we've as Villa fans, we've been through some pretty dark times as well, and that's not to say other clubs haven't. Other clubs have had worse than we have. We know that, but for us to, only a few seasons ago be sort of struggling in the Championship before Dean Smith took over, and us to go on the journey we have done since then, and so much has happened between then as well.
Yeah.
Like staying up on the last day of the season.
It's never boring at Villa, is it?
It's
never
not
boring.
There's always something going on, and but I just think for us to be in a position where you weren't expecting to be in, going into the final day of the season, knowing it's in our own hands to finish in the European place is something pretty special.
Yeah, we talked about it on a video that will actually come out after this one, where we talked about our end of season awards, and we talked about the turnaround, didn't we? And for me, it's sort of, where did it sort of change for you? Obviously, Unai Emery came in, but realistically, we were 17th. You never really expected that. We all knew Unai Emery is this elite coach, but you never thought realistically we'd get Europe. So for me, if I'm putting it down to a point, it was probably that Chelsea away game, to be honest. And that's less than 2 months ago, where we went there, we were 11th for such a long time, and it feels like that we were there for ages. For me, that Chelsea away game, winning there pretty convincingly as well, that was the sort of time where you started to believe.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it was that week. It was that Chelsea and the Leicester game followed up by that.
Yeah.
Those 2 wins that week were really vital, and I think it made us all sort of sit up and think, Villa could actually reach Europe this season if we still had to go on a mad run. Yeah. To do it, and I keep stressing that, we had to go on a 10-game unbeaten run and then pick up our form again after the 2 recent defeats we had, just to put ourselves in the conversation, just for a Conference League place. And so it kind of shows you the form that we've had to have, how poor we probably were in the first half of the season. And so it's I think that was the turning point for me. But I quite like how Emery's done it, and I think he was talking the other day how he came into the club and he set the first objective to escape that bottom end of the table, and the second objective was then to sort of cement ourselves in the top half, which we kind of did, and then he added a third objective. You know what? Let's see if we can get to Europe, and there's never been that much pressure on it really. It's just been go out, play your game, enjoy your game, and see where we end up. And I think the players have really done that, and they're reaping the rewards of it. There's never felt we've always been really under the radar this season. There's never felt like we've been under any pressure and anything, and yet we've done so well to end up where we are. And it would just be so good just to wrap it up on Sunday, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because of where we've been. You're right, we are the outsiders, and a huge amount of credit has got to go to the players and the manager and everything else. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I think we've had a little bit of luck as well in terms of Tottenham having a difficult season, obviously Liverpool having a difficult season, Chelsea, but then you've got sides like Brighton, Newcastle are up there. So I don't think you can sort of talk about Villa are only up there because fair share of these top 6 Sky clubs that are struggling this season. So I think you've got it on both sides, but I think we've seen a few bits on Twitter that really wound me and you up this week, where people were sort of, I don't even know why I'm giving this the airtime, but people were sort of saying I'd rather us finish 8th because we can, we don't have European football next season, so we can have less games and we can, because we've got a small squad. And that is absolute nonsense. Any form of European football, Europa League, Conference League, to be honest, me and you have said to each other we don't care. I just don't understand that argument. It's absolute nonsense, and people can't justify it with a serious argument. I don't get it.
I said this to you the other day, didn't I? I said, why would you not want to qualify for Europe to then try and qualify for Europe next season?
Make it make sense.
That doesn't make sense. I know people would say, but people are talking about finishing in Europa League rather than Conference League. But just to point out, as I said at the top of the show, like, we haven't been in Europe for 12 or 13 years, and since that time we've been struggling in the Championship. We nearly went bust. We had to get taken over by new owners. We've been through numerous managers. We struggled to stay up. We stayed up on the last day of the season. We went all throughout all these lockdowns and stuff. Do you know what? This is like the bit of happiness now for Villa fans. It's like we're on the verge of finishing in a European position. Why would we want it? Why would we not want that? And I was talking to a West Ham fan yesterday, and he was talking about how poor their Premier League season's been. But I said to him, well, what would it mean though for you guys now to go and win the Conference League? What would it mean? And he said, it would be the best season I've ever watched as a West Ham supporter. And that just made me sit up and think, do you know what? This is it. This is a European competition. Okay, it's the third European competition, and this was only it came back a couple of years ago, didn't it? But I think what people forget is that we used to have 3 European competitions anyway. We had the Cup Winners' Cup, which ran for 30, 40 years and ended in 99, and some really big clubs won that.
Yeah, you showed me the list of teams who won it: Barcelona, Man United, Arsenal, big sides. And look at who won the Conference League last season. It was Roma. It wasn't some rubbish team from Eastern Europe. Roma won it the final this year. Fiorentina, West Ham. There's big teams in it. It's not a Mickey Mouse competition. And people who say that, we'll say it, and then we'll get there, and they'll be the first ones wanting to go to like an away game or a European fixture, and it's nonsense.
And I think I always say in football, and I think people lose sight of this a little bit, is that we're in it because it's a sport, and we're in it because we want to win. We want to see success on the field. And if you're saying that you don't want to be in a competition which is going to enhance your team's reputation, you haven't been in Europe for 12, 13 years, I just don't understand it. For me, you go into the Conference League, you give it all you can possibly give, and you try and win the competition. Because if you try and win the competition, if you win that competition, it gets you into the Europa League.
Exactly.
If you win the Europa League, it gets you into the
ladder.
Champions League.
It's a ladder. It's a pretty simple ladder, isn't it? And do you know what? If we were in there, I don't think it's outrageous. We're talking, yes, there's some big teams in there. Roma's this season, Leverkusen, Fiorentina, West Ham. But it's let's be honest, if West Ham can get to the final, so can we. And we're not jumping ahead of ourselves. We're just justifying why it would be so massive, crucial, important, spectacular if Villa could get into this third-tier European competition.
I'd love it. I'd love the European nights back at Villa Park, whatever competition that comes in. I'd take it all day long. And yeah, I'm just so excited for the potential and the prospects of it. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? It's been a real long time coming, and I just hope we get over the line.
Well, that's the football side of things, but as fans as well, if European nights at Villa Park, European nights away from home, wherever you are, midweek, Thursday nights, whatever, that's where you want to be as a football fan like me and you who go every single week. That's where you want to be. Look at the pre-season friendlies. Leipzig a couple of years ago, Rennes last season. We've got a couple coming up this summer as well. For me, as a fan who goes week in, week out, that's the highlight of the highlight of my season as a match-going fan. And they're friendlies, like they're games that don't mean anything. Can you imagine like going to Rennes like we did last season on a sunny afternoon on a Thursday and actually meaning something like that? That is the epitome of where we want to be.
Yeah, and I think about how me and you flew out to the Middle East to go and watch Villa in a friendly against Chelsea in Dubai back in December, and how we both said that was one of the best trips we ever had, and it was such an incredible 4 or 5 days. And I just think, imagine that actually meant something. I mean, I was saying to you the other day, I don't even remember that Chelsea friendly game.
It's the experience.
In December, but it was the experience of being there. Imagine that actually meant something. Imagine that was in a European competition when you're on the a bit more of a global, European or a global stage sort of thing. And I'm just buzzing for it. And Conference League, whatever. And do you know something as well? I think Villa are better set up for the Conference League anyway at the moment, if I'm being totally honest. And I think if we would have got to the Europa League, I still would have said, oh, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But I think it might have been quite challenging for us. That I've got to be honest. I think some of the teams in that, I think we might have been challenging, but I think Conference League would be a really nice sort of introduction back to it for us. We haven't been there for 12, 13 years. It's a nice little addition, and it helps us grow as a football club. Like everyone's starting to sit up and take notice of Aston Villa now. We're challenging that sort of Big 6 or Big 7, whatever you want to call it again. And it's time we need that recognition, don't we? It's where the club want to get to. They want to be playing on a big stage, and it feels to me like this is the sort of the first little step of it, really.
100%, yeah, it's the first stepping stone, isn't it? And like you said, you win the Conference League, you go into Europa, you win Europa, you go in the Champions League. So it's a ladder all set up. And I think, let's talk about the game on Sunday then. People say, all we have to do is win, which makes it sound simple. It's not going to be like that. But we said it, didn't we? All you can ask is that it's in our hands on the final day. That Liverpool game, yes, we threw it away in the 89th minute to throw away a win, and the win would have been incredible. But I said on the podcast recently that, that's the best I've felt after conceding in the 89th minute to throw away a lead, to be honest, because we got that point, and because Tottenham lost at home to Brentford, it was so crucial to get our noses in front of them. And the fact it's in our own hands is all you could have asked of, and so much has changed, because this time last week, it was still sort of up in the air, 50-50, like we still need to rely on other teams and things like that. For that to go out the window and we don't need to rely on other teams now is huge. It's in our hands. It's
straightforward, isn't it? It's straightforward for the Villa players now on Sunday afternoon. It's like you go out there today, you don't leave anything out there on the pitch, and you win the game and you're in Europe, and it's a simple formula, really, isn't it? And as you say, it's going to be a tough game. Brighton are no mugs. They've had an incredible season, and full credit to Brighton and them and De Zerbi for the job he's done there, because Brighton have been absolutely brilliant, and they totally deserve Europa League football, by the way. But yeah, I mean, we're at home at Villa Park with the fans behind us. You've got to be confident at doing it, and it sort of goes out the window on the final day. I think. I think it doesn't. I don't know if it would matter too much who the opposition was. If in a way, I think it's going to be tough whoever you play. But I think it goes out the window a little bit. I think we've got to concentrate on our own game and remember it's just this one game now, and it all, because for weeks we've been saying, we need to win 3 out of 5 or something like that. But now it's one game. We need to win one game out of 1, essentially, or we just need to equal Tottenham's result and hope Brentford don't beat Manchester City at home. Yeah,
Brentford are the ones that are sort of sneaking, aren't they? It's quite lucky that they've got Manchester City on the last game. Man City might rest a few players, I know, but they're sort of creeping. But it's us and Tottenham.
Probably. It's just the fact that Man City could rest quite a lot of players against
they should still beat them, realistically.
They should. But again, Brentford are no mugs, though. So I don't want to discount them, because Brentford are no mugs, and they're a good side. And again, I've had a really, really good season. But look, forget about other teams. Villa just needs to win, essentially, and if we do win, we're in the Conference League. That's mental, that is. And let's talk about what we're expecting Sunday. Then I think it's going to be a ridiculous atmosphere. I think it's going to be special. It's going to be one of the best I've ever heard. The sun's going to be shining. The forecast is 21, 22 degrees. The sun is shining. It's going to be incredible. 4:30, a couple of times for drinks before. It's just going to be spectacular. The atmosphere is going to be incredible. We saw a couple of weeks ago against Tottenham the streamers that were at Villa Park. I think that's going to happen again. Project B6 handing out flags, whatever, balloons, streamers.
streamers, flags, bring them all out. It adds to the atmosphere. The whole end is going to be rocking. All four sides of Villa Park are going to be rocking. Even you in the North Stand. It's going to be mega, isn't it?
It is. It's going to be really good, and I'm looking forward to see what I have a feeling the club might be doing something in terms of like a display or something.
I'd like that.
I think they might to try and generate the atmosphere. I don't know that, and it's just a thought in my head, but I have a feeling the club might do something. Obviously, it's the game when we're going to unveil our new badge for next season as well, our new branding. Yeah. So there's a lot going on, but it's going to be rocking, isn't it?
It is going to be rocking. And right then, what do you reckon team news-wise then? Because in that Liverpool game, we had a couple of issues. Moreno went off. Not too disheartened with Luca Dean starting, if I'm totally honest. I thought he was very good against Liverpool. Douglas Luiz talks about him being ill this week. I'm not sure. We'll probably know more when this video goes out, to be fair, with the press conference and things like that. But you probably don't change it if you can.
No, I don't think you'll see a lot of change. I wouldn't be that surprised if Buendia come in though, just because getting his foot on the ball, attacking wise at home, we probably need to do that. I'd have thought. Luca Dean will play at left back if Moreno is obviously ruled out, which it looks like he's going to be.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it sort of picks itself. The rest of it really doesn't it? Like whether Bailey continues to start, I think he probably will, because there's another attacking option.
Look, people talk about Bailey, but at home this season, he's been incredible, and we're so good this season at home of scoring early goals, and he's been a massive part of that. You know, I can think of a couple off the top of my head that he's done at Villa Park, and we start so fast at Villa Park, and I think that's going to be vital on Sunday.
Well, that's the thing against Spurs. He used his pace for that.
He used his right foot as well.
Yeah, he used his pace and the right foot for a change against Spurs for that open goal, and and he got us going, and he has got that in his locker. That's the thing, and I still think at the moment he's still a quite a key player in that Unai Emery system, and so I think it'll be him or Buendia, if I'm being honest. I don't think he'll take Kamara out.
No.
I think he'll continue. I think
Matty Cash will keep his place. Yeah,
I think it'll be either Bailey or Buendia, and then what you'll see is they'll rotate off the bench then when they need to, sort of thing. But yeah, it will be really interesting. But yeah, in terms of team news, I think it's pretty straightforward. Luca Dean will play at left back. Yeah.
One-on-one cup final. Then I've never seen Villa in Europe. I've been going home and away for 7 years now. Like this, we've talked about it previously. Like a few times in recent years, we've gone to the last game in terms of playoff finals or staying up on the last day and things like this. But this is a different level. I've never seen this Villa before. And whatever happens on Sunday, win or lose, you're still going to be encouraged, aren't you? Even if we do lose and everything goes horribly wrong and things like that, you've got to dust yourself down. And I hate to sound like Steve Bruce there, but you've got to go again. You've got to hold your hands up and say, it's still been an incredible season. And we're not sat here assuming we're going to win. We're not, because it's going to be an incredibly hard game. You've got to hold your hands up, whatever happens, and say it's been an incredible season. But on the other hand, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I just can't see past Villa at Villa Park with the atmosphere, with it being one game shootout in our hands. I just can't see past it.
I think we'll do it. I do think we'll do it. I think, as we keep saying, it's going to be tough. Like I said, Brighton are no mugs. They're a good side, but they're going to come to Villa Park. Obviously, they've got another match before that this week against City, haven't they? So they'll probably be a little bit more leggy than what we are, because we've had a bit more time to prepare and rest for this game. But it'll still be a tough game because Brighton are a good side. And then I think if we have a look at the other game that we're talking about, the Leeds-Spurs game. Now, we know Spurs haven't been great recently, and they're going to Leeds on the last day, which Leeds have to win.
Yeah, exactly. Works in our favour.
But, on the other side of it is that, yes, I know Spurs have been poor this season, and especially recently, but Spurs are still a better side than Leeds. And so if they wanted to turn up on the day, Spurs could beat Leeds.
Do you reckon they even want confidence?
No, they don't.
Realistically,
no, they don't. No, they don't. I was talking to a Tottenham fan yesterday as well, and he said to me, literally as I was leaving yesterday, he said to me, he was like, "You went, good luck on Sunday. You went, make sure you beat them. We don't want Conference League."
That is mad.
That's what he said to me.
That is mental.
And I said to him, I find it mad that you really don't want it, and we're desperate for it.
Yeah,
and he was just saying, but we need a year off to sort of recover. And I understand
reset
that.
for them.
I understand that. They're in a totally different zone to what Villa are, but it is funny. The Spurs fans they really do not want European football this season.
Let's hope the players have got the same mentality then.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, let's hope so. It's a tough place to go, Leeds, on the last day of the season, I've got to say.
When they've got to win as well.
They've got to win just to give themselves any chance.
Exactly,
the odds are stacked against them anyway, to be honest. I saw like a percentage thing this morning that said that they're 97% likely to go down now, Leeds, which is like great, because they're relying on Leicester and Everton.
Everton are 2 points clear. They've got Bournemouth.
And so the odds are stacked against Leeds. It's the last day. You never know on the last day. And I think
they did it last season, Leeds.
Yeah, and I think Allardyce will be telling the players that don't worry about what's going on elsewhere. Things will happen on the final day. just win sort of thing. And that's the same mentality about Villa, really. Unai Emery's just like, forget about what's happening elsewhere, we just need to win.
Villa players have got a fantastic mentality. We've showed it. So it's a big week for Villa. It's a big week, and I'm going to put you on the spot now, mates. Predictions. We're going to go early. What do you reckon? What do you reckon Sunday? Villa Brighton, 1-game shootout, cup final, as we love to say. Do you reckon?
I think we're going to win, and I think we're going to win. I think it's going to be a good day. I don't see us conceding. I think we don't look like we're going to give away many goals at the moment, especially at Villa Park as well. And so I'm going to go for a 2-0.
2-0, like it was. I don't know why I brought this up, but Gerrard's first game was 2-0 against Brighton, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we didn't play very well that day. But
yeah, shock.
But you know what? I'll take that today, though. I'll take that on Sunday.
Look, we could play horrendously. It could rocket off Lewis Dunk's arse. Like, it's one of them. It's one of them. You don't care. For me, I think it's going to be tight because, yes, we're probably going to want it more than Brighton. They're not going to turn up and just roll over. We know that. They're a very good side. We've said it a million times. But I'm going to go with 1-0. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be a little bit nervy at the end. Look, I'd love us to blow them away and it'd be comfortable last 10 minutes. But even when we're 1-0 up like this season, we're not under the cosh massively, are we? Like we have been in previous years. So I'll go 1-0. I want Ollie Watkins to get back on the score sheet as well because he hasn't scored in, 5 or 6 games. Missed a penalty against Liverpool. So 1-0 Villa, mate. Any final words to people listening as well that might be going to Villa Park tomorrow as you're watching this?
Just enjoy it, and really, please get behind the team. You know, and I know we have been for the last however many months. Like all the supporters have got on board with the playing style. You know, everyone now applauds when the ball goes backwards rather than moaning, and that's been really good. But please shout your lungs out for the team on Sunday because it will literally be the 12th man if we can do that. And yeah, let's just touch wood and hope that we can get there because
that would.
No, it's not. But
it's metal.
Yeah, it's metal.
Yeah,
I've got some wood on the chair, so it's all
good.
fine. But no, yeah, just get behind the team, and then and if we do it, let's try and enjoy it. Let's let the players take that adulation on the pitch at the end of the game.
Don't pitch invade. Public service announcement.
I
don't think it would happen anyway.
Let's not go on the pitch. Exactly. I mean, we want the players and the manager to take the adulation. I don't know if the manager will take the adulation. He's not that type of guy. But let the players take. If we do it, let the players take the adulation because they really, really deserve it. So I'm buzzing for it. I can't wait. I'm feeling okay at the moment. I think come Sunday I'll be a bag of nerves, but yeah, it's been great anyway.
Yeah, just enjoy it. If you're going wherever you sit, even if you sit in the Doug Ellis where they don't normally get on their feet, just do it. This is a 1-game shootout. Sing your hearts out if you are going. It's going to be an incredible day, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it's like uncharted territory for me as a Villa fan. Like I've said it previously. I've just never been there before. So please do enjoy it. It's going to be a big one. Get behind the team. If everything does go wrong, it's okay. We'll go again next season. It's still been a fantastic season. It's worth remembering that, of course. But I think we're going to win. So look forward to it. Thank you very much for watching this video. Get involved in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking ahead of tomorrow's game, and up the Villa.